Hello. Good to have you here. Subscribe to the channel to help us keep going. You are essential to us. Today, we're going to talk about an old American disinformation project. They said countless times that there was nothing to worry about. They denied it. They covered it up. But the reality is that, in silence, one of the largest official operations involving unidentified flying objects was being conducted on American soil. This secretive effort had a name, Project Blue Book. Although it looked like a scientific investigation, its real purpose was never to shed light, but rather to erase traces. At the end of the 1940s, reports of unusual aerial phenomena multiplied. People described unusual lights, flying machines that seemed to ignore the laws of physics and contacts with beings of undefined origin. Faced with the commotion, the government had to react. But not to clarify the facts. The intention was to control what was known. In 1952, the United States Air Force officially launched Project Blue Book. Although presented as technical research, what was underway was a campaign to disqualify reports, discredit witnesses and stifle any initiative for honest investigation. Over 17 years, 12,618 episodes have been recorded. More than 700 remain without any plausible justification, and this detail was minimized by the official bodies themselves. The message to the public was simple: there are no risks, no concrete evidence, move on. The scientist J. Allen Hynek, who initially collaborated with the project adopting a skeptical stance, ended up becoming one of its biggest opponents. In later interviews, he revealed that significant evidence was simply ignored. According to him, science was not used to clarify, but as a tool of concealment. Many people believe that Project Blue Book failed. But that's a mistake. It was effective, at least for those who wanted to cover up information. Military pilots were silenced. People who witnessed the events were intimidated. Public reports were manipulated before being released. All the ingredients of a cover-up operation were present. At the heart of it all was a little-mentioned document, Special Report No. 14. This internal analysis contradicted the official claims and acknowledged that many of the objects recorded exhibited behaviors and characteristics unattainable for any known terrestrial technology. And what was the fate of this report? It was suppressed, archived, replaced by statements denying any implication for national security. The manipulation was sustained by systematic repetition and by the mainstream media. A striking example occurred in 1964, when Lonnie Zamora, a New Mexico police officer, witnessed an anomalous object. The case was classified as unknown by Project Blue Book itself. However, when the press pressed for clarification, the Army quickly suggested that it was an experimental rocket test, without any evidence to support this hypothesis. This type of response was no exception. In 1952, several unidentified objects were seen flying over Washington, D.C. Commercial pilots, aviation officials and radar operators confirmed the presence of these artifacts. The justification? Thermal reflections in the atmosphere. If the Blue Book was insignificant, why was it suddenly shut down in 1969? The explanation may lie behind even more veiled programs, such as Majestic, 12, Project Sign and Project Grudge. These initiatives suggest that the studies continued, only becoming more protected from the public eye. Robert Friend, a former Air Force officer who took part in the project, has stated in interviews that not even he had complete access to the most sensitive files. Hynek, on the other hand, has even suggested that the actual research would have proceeded under a top-secret classification. Had they recovered unknown technology? Made deals with non-human entities? Initiated deliberate disinformation campaigns? There are signs scattered in the testimonies of former agents who dared to reveal fragments of what they knew. Many of them have disappeared, suffered unexplained accidents or had their reputations destroyed. Project Blue Book was not just a misguided scientific effort. It was a success, for those who wanted to keep the truth inaccessible. Decades have passed. And yet, the answers remain hidden. In 2019, the U.S. Navy acknowledged that UFO videos released by the Pentagon were authentic, and that the objects captured defied any conventional interpretation. If world leaders have denied such events for so long, what has led them to acknowledge something now? What other information is being kept under wraps? In 2021, the Pentagon report brought a disturbing revelation. Of 144 cases analyzed, 143 could not be explained. The amount of evidence became impossible to ignore. And if Project Blue Book had really ended in 1969, how could we explain the persistence of new documents suggesting the continuation of secret research? If nothing relevant was being hidden, why do so many ex-military and ex-intelligence agents continue to report direct experiences with technologies beyond current comprehension? The question has never been just, are they hiding something? The real question is, if we knew the whole truth, could we handle it?